Yeah.
Hey, Roberto. Hello. Hi, everybody. I want y'all to meet my friend Roberto Inderbitzin, who is the founder of REFRAME Design. And it's so funny because Roberto and I have been in Steve Sims' speakeasy group for, I don't know, like maybe a year or something. And we've been connected on LinkedIn and stuff. And we like each other's things in common, but we had never really talked. And a couple of weeks ago, he sent me a room invite on Clubhouse, like, hey, do you want to talk in a room? And I had a few minutes, so I went on and we ended up talking for like an hour.
Yeah,
That was just so much fun. And the reason I'm telling y'all this is because I want you to understand that the people that you're connected with just really loosely that you don't know, you never have any idea who you might really click with. So with that being said, Roberto, I want you to introduce yourself, tell a bit about your background and, your personal interesting information and about your design firm.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Yes, Clubhouse, it's been a blast.
Yeah.
How many people's meeting there. Thanks. So yes, I'm Roberto. I'm half Mexican, I'm Swiss. That's why Roberto, the Mexican part. Inderbitzin is a very typical Swiss name. Mm-hmm. And I've been living in Switzerland for a couple of years now, like a lot of years. And I have a design studio. It's called REFRAME Design, and it's based in Zurich. And our main goal is pretty much to reframe your physical products, your brand, or your thinking to come up with new ideas, to come up with better solutions to existing problems, or actually figuring out new problems that we can solve with you.
I love what you do because, I help companies reimagine their business, but I'm not in product design. I help them think of products and I help them create new revenue streams and things like that as part of what we're doing. But I love that you do part of that, but a lot of the actual physical design. I love that.
Right.
Tell us about, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I think it's pretty much the same, like figuring out what's the problem. And then, I don't like to call it problem because problem is like just so closed. Mm-hmm. So it's more like the challenges. So if we're figuring out the challenge and then your mind starts to like wander all over the place. And I think even if it's digital or physical products, it's, the processes are pretty much almost the same.
Yeah. And the thing that people don't think about is, like you said, you don't like to look at it as a product. We tend to be really closed-minded when we look at something instead of, a lot of people don't have the ability to take a step back and look at it differently without their preconceived notions. One of the projects that you did is that bee home, right?
Right.
Bumblebees. Tell me about that. I thought that was so cool.
Yeah, so actually it's a funny project because I don't know if you see it here or like there.
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah.
So we had a big with the big one.
Yeah.
And the idea is to reimagine it and to go to different markets. So the original one is the station in Switzerland, and the other one is to go to different markets. It's let's say to Germany or France, and they're very price sensitive. Mm-hmm. So we had to reimagine how can we make it easier for the assembly, so we can lower the costs. What materials can we use to also reduce the cost, but also like tell a story? So we actually started to use materials that have wood in it. So it's injection molded, but it has wood, which is kind of nice and actually smells like wood.
Oh, nice.
And we reduced the assembly from, I don't know, a lot of minutes because we have like 8 screws or 9 screws to 0 screws. Just be a
Oh, wow.
So with that, actually, we could reduce the price and give the bees a new home in Germany and in France. So.
I love it. My uncle used to be a beekeeper, and he lost all his bees, like, I don't know, 10, 20 years ago when a lot of Americans, they didn't really know what killed them. So he doesn't have them anymore, and I really miss that. I used to love to watch them. And it's funny because when I first saw the project on your site, I hadn't read what it was. And at first I thought it was like cigarettes or I was like, what is that? And then I read and I was like, oh, this is so cool. So the bees go in the little tubes.
Right.
That's where they make their honey.
These are actually kind of bees that they don't produce honey.
Oh, okay.
They are great. But they are great for pollination.
Oh, okay. So they do pollinate, but they don't make honey. Okay.
Exactly. So yeah, it's a startup here in Zurich,
Oh my, I love it.
and it's a great idea.
So I guess European bees and American bees are different. Do y'all have bees that make honey there? I mean, I don't know anything really about bees. Do y'all have bees that make honey like the ones?
No, we do. These are
okay.
just like very special bees that actually produce a lot of or help a lot for the pollination.
Yeah, that's
which is
so
actually
cool.
the stuff we need, and then they don't sting, which you can have these little homes in your garden or in your balcony if you have in the city.
Oh my
So
God.
you don't have to, even for kids, they're like the little pets.
That is so cool. Well, now I have to ask you, do they sell them in America?
I have no idea.
We need to find out because I want one. And if they don't sell them directly in America, maybe they sell them online and we can order them because, oh my gosh, that sounds so cool. And I have a young man who is very special to me who has Asperger's. He would love it. Love
there you go.
That would be
let me see if I can get you one.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'll buy it, but I just want to know, and I bet there are people in the audience that would like to have it too. So you tell that company, if they're not selling them over here yet, I bet they could sell a lot. Because, you know, when my kids were growing up, I bought them the butterfly kit where you get the cocoons or the larva or whatever they call it. It's been so long ago. I mean, you get those
insects.
and then it's like a little mesh tent, and you wait, and so they get to watch all the life stages, and then after the butterflies come out, you take the tent off, and then you know they fly away. And that was just so much fun. But this is something kind of similar, but that experience on a long term, and you know, you don't think about interacting with insects much, but that sounds
not at all.
Cool. yeah. Other than like that.
Exactly. So that's why I kind of like this kind of projects, because they have like it's not just like a product, but it has like more meaning to it to make a better world.
It's helping the people who buy it because it's really interesting, but it's also helping them because if they're helping plants be pollinated, then they're actually contributing to the food cycle.
Yes, and we really have a big problem with that.
Yeah, well, Roberto, and I keep saying Roberto because I'm used to Spanish, but Roberto, our friend Amy, I know you know Amy from the Speakeasy. She said she would buy one too. So
there we go.
Right there, two people. So here's a market.
Like we said before, like entrepreneurs, like figuring out problems. There we go, bringing them a solution.
God, it's so cool. How did you hook up with them?
They actually, because I did I was working in another company, and they got some referrals.
Oh, okay.
So a friend of mine told them, and then he called me, and then it just like
and
usually
that's probably how you get most of your clients, isn't it?
Right. That's a lot about the referrals.
Yeah.
I also do some callings, but it's pretty much like the referral. So you have the trust of each other, and you know where you're heading.
Yeah.
You know the values, and then that works.
Yeah, and they know that you're able to be creative and think differently.
Well, hopefully.
Yes, you are. So what do you think has been one of your favorite projects over the years?
Well, definitely. I mean, that one was a great project. I love that because of like the cause of it. Also, like what I love, it's about designing a car, like electric car I did. Yeah. So it was a concept for electric car, and that was a really fun project.
It looks like it would. Tell us about it.
So it was a company in Germany that wanted to get into the electric car business, and also showcase their products. But to show the products, we needed to make a design for a car.
Yeah.
So we started to design a car, which actually it's a small car. It doesn't drive that fast, and you can use it in the cities.
So is it almost like a scooter, but a car? You know how scooters don't
I think it's a bit bigger.
Kind of as far as speed and stuff, or does it go faster than that?
No, it goes faster. I don't know. It's I don't know in miles. Let's say 30, 40 miles.
So a city vehicle or
absolutely
around close areas.
Close areas in cities mostly.
Okay.
And it was a fun project, so we can start to develop the ideas, and it's been a while. So it had the base, and kind of like a Tesla. So it just had the base, and then you can change the tops of it. So that was the concept of it.
Oh,
So
so
if you
I could buy one and then I could like switch a top out after I buy it, or is that for the assembly
exactly.
beforehand? So
So you can actually kind of like customize it. So that was the idea behind it.
that is so cool. That reminds me of when I was growing up back in the Stone Ages, Roberto. We had these watches that they had like different color rings around the face,
Right.
and you would take take it off of the watch band, and you could switch out the, so you could
kind of like that, just
kind
bigger.
of like that. So it's like whatever mood you're in. Oh, I want my car to be red today. To maybe tomorrow I want it purple. Or
that would be kind of cool though.
That is
imagine
cool.
to have that, like even like doing that with electricity. You can actually there's some paint you can actually change with color with electricity. So that would be kind of cool.
Okay, now that is really cool. So the electricity makes the paint look different.
Yes. So these are some concept, but that would be sweet to have like a car.
Yeah, that would be. Or think about it, even if like there were designs like painted in it that like maybe you can't see, but then with certain electricity it does come out. Kind of how black light makes things glow, so it looks different. That's really cool. Now I want to do what you do, Roberto, except I'm not, you're an industrial engineer by trade.
Industrial designer.
Okay, industrial designer. So I don't have that. I can't actually design anything like that, but I can come up with ideas and then make you do.
Exactly.
That's fun.
That's the fun part. That's what I love about the job. It's also like a lot of collaboration with people. So you have engineers. You work with engineers, material engineers. Also, like a lot of marketeers that they know the client, and you come up with new ideas and new solutions. And then sometimes I like to freak out, like go way over the top, and then go back.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a good idea though, because then you get in the habit of stretching, stretching for your mind further than it needs to be. Similar to when you work out, hey, you do those stretches, so you keep nimble, and if you do that in your work, that's awesome.
Exactly, and that's when you grow. So I always try to tell the students, listen to your teachers, but just go beyond. Like, go over the top. I mean, what's going to happen? Nothing. There's no client behind it. So
because you teach at a college, right?
I used to teach in Mexico, right?
Oh, okay. Was it around Monterrey?
It was the Tecnológico de Monterrey. That's one. I think it has like 20 campuses in Mexico City. In Mexico itself.
I think that's the school that my sister went to when she was in college. She went down there one summer as an exchange student because she was a Spanish major. She teaches Spanish now. So that's really neat. But
that's right, Roberto.
It seems like the work that you do, though, it seems like you just get to play. Not that there's not a serious part, but a lot of it just seems like it's playing and coming up with ideas.
It is. So that's what I try to play it. So it's what's it called? Like they used to say, is like take play seriously or take fun seriously. So it's a lot of fun.
Tell me about another project that you really liked. I'm trying to remember what I posted about because I gave several examples when I shared it. But I want to hear about your favorites.
So that was a fun one. Then another one there's some projects that I'm actually just doing to figuring out where to go. And one project, I call it Aero. So the idea behind it is to have a device that is not hooked to the internet to actually use it as a meditation device.
Oh, yeah, you told me about that because at first I thought it was like Google Home. So tell us about that.
Exactly. So we have a big problem that we are always connected. We're always on the lookout, and we have this FOMO, and I think that's going to cripple us.
Yeah.
And Clubhouse is not doing any best at that.
I have to put it down because I love it, but it would be easy for me to be on there 24 hours a day, right?
Absolutely. So the idea is to have like a meditation device that actually has like a kind of like a guided meditation.
Okay.
You just take with you and just go to the woods, to a park, or to another room, for example. And it's not hooked to the internet, so you can have quiet time, and it just guides you through meditation.
So is it like spoken guidance, like breathe in and this, that, and the other combined with music and ambient sounds, or how does it work?
The idea to have it is exactly that, to have like sound, to have sound. Maybe you have a teacher, you can do some pre-recording, or just with light, which would be great. So you don't have a lot of sound and other distraction, but you have actually just the light, like
that would be cool.
Like a breathing. So it just says, okay, breathe now on and now breathe out. So that would be kind of sweet to have like a product that actually does that. It helps you. It's not connected to the internet, so you can actually just try to get rid of the addiction.
Yeah, and have it so that the user can choose how they interact with it. Like you said, with just light or music or a voice, like a coach. That would be really cool, because that way everybody's different. Whatever relaxes me, helps me meditate, might not help you.
Exactly. And I think, there are some great apps to do that.
Yeah.
But then you still have the phone with you.
I know. I've used them, and I'm like, hello, if I've got the phone there and I've got the sound up so that I can hear it, I'm like, ding,
Exactly. It's like, oh no.
So,
so that's a project that I love to work on, and I want to keep on pushing that.
And that's a concept. That's a conceptual product that you've created, but you haven't actually put it on the market yet, right?
Right. So I'm trying to find people that want to back it up. So some engineers that are really interested, some meditation gurus that want to get involved with their knowledge, so we can actually share and we can figure out, okay, maybe there's something more we can add or reduce something, or just make it simple or slicker. So.
Well, I know I have several friends that I need to connect you with, because at the very least, they would think it's cool and they can give you input, but they also might be able to connect you. You never know. Some of them are in meditation, that kind of business, but then others in product, like the guy we talked about a minute ago. Hey, he might have some really good. So tell us about the COVID project that you did. My kitty cat wants to see you, Roberto.
Hello, kitty.
It's Thumper. She's over here going like this, pawing me, like, let me up there.
Oh, little. That would be fun too, as well. Some toys for cats.
Oh yeah, let me see.
I don't have one, but I would love to do one.
Oh, you said you'd love to do them. I thought you said
with animals. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that would be fun. Now, if you were going to do toys for animals, would you think that it would be something that would be like, and I know it could be anything, but would you be more drawn to doing something that is interactive, like that uses electricity or batteries or something, or do you think it would be more a static thing, like the bee home is a static thing? Are you drawn in either direction more than the other?
No, I would say try not to go with electricity, but make something with the kinetic energy.
Oh yeah.
So that would be kind of cool. So they can actually interact with it, and then I don't know, maybe it's just by interacting, it generates a bit of electricity by itself or something. But
now that would be really cool. Thumper agrees with that. She wants to be like, she's just going, she wants to be in your test market when you do that.
How about that? That would be cool.
Educational though, Roberto.
Yeah, kind of educational for cats.
Well, I mean, for kids, for the owners and the kids too,
Yeah.
Because it would, it would help us understand kinetic energy, and then for kids, you never know when something like that might pique their interest and make them more interested in science or something. That's what that I love about the type of work that you do, is because it makes people start imagining things.
It does help, yeah. And what I love about it as well is like you can get it from one industry and go to the different industry.
Yeah.
So what you're learning in this industry, you can take them to the next industry, and then keep on learning with that and implement it with them, and it's so fulfilling.
Because it's about a way of thinking, and there are not that many people who can think creatively, and especially in a way that's three-dimensional like that, and things that actually move. And a lot of people, even if they are really creative, it's more like artsy creative. It's not as much idea and concept.
Right. So yeah, I believe everybody's creative, but like you mentioned, like the way to see things in 3D and like from the angle and start to like, I think it's more like entrepreneurs. They get an idea and then find another idea and then find another one and then just start to mix it together.
Yeah.
And then
you start out
a business model.
Here. Yeah, you start over here and you're like, and you end up with something that you never would have started with. But that's the beauty of it. And that's why actually being friends with other entrepreneurs and, actually talking and communicating helps so much, whether it's a mastermind, something more formal, or whether it's doing something like Clubhouse and, going in there. Right. Personally, to me, the reason that I like Clubhouse so much is because actually being able to converse with people more comes through in the communication than it does when we're, just commenting on other social media. The one problem that I see, though, is because my father was blind, I'm like more tuned in to people with disabilities. So I'm like, what about people who are deaf? How, or somebody who can't talk for whatever reason. And I'm sure that they have that in their plan in some way, because you can't do everything at once. But it'll be really interesting to see how they actually, adapt, make it accessible to everybody.
I think they're doing something for, I don't know, there are apps for people that are blind, so they help them with the phone. And I think they're also doing something there with Clubhouse, but I'm not so sure about that.
Yeah, and I need to ask Kobe, my friend who's blind, because he probably uses a screen reader with it, I'm assuming. But if you think about it, somebody who's deaf, they can look at it, but they wouldn't be able to hear what the people are saying, unless there's the equivalent of, I don't know if there's kind of the equivalent, the inverse of a screen reader, where it takes the sound and converts it to, but that would have to be so fast, because everybody.
It has to be really fast.
Yeah.
Well, just wait for. Yeah. It's going to come.
Yeah.
I can imagine that's something that's with 5G, it's going to be happening.
Yeah.
With the whole artificial intelligence and like just reading so fast. And
yeah.
I was just looking at a program a couple of weeks ago that captures your speech, like the speak recognition, and just repeats it with your voice. So, that's one thing that's already like, okay, that's crazy. But the other thing is, if you don't like what you said, you just change it by typing it, and it just rereads it the way you just typed it with your voice.
So, because I guess it's kind of like music, where it kind of like recognizes the notes or whatever, the intonations and everything. And I'm just using music as an analogy. I'm sure it's not like that, but how there's intonations and pitch and everything. That's cool. Now, I know. That'd be like you leave a message for somebody, you're like, no, I don't want it to say that.
Exactly. Oh, no, shit.
That's funny. Or, what would be really cool? You know how a lot of people will send, well, I don't know, this might not work. I was going to say, like, when you want to send a voice message to a lot of people, but you might want it to be a little bit different for each one. It'll be really interesting to see, hey,
that would be cool.
Like a personalized email, except it's personalized voice message.
That could work. That's just like a little change on the code or something, and that could work. Sure.
Yeah. Have you done work with artificial intelligence?
No.
Oh, you haven't. You just follow it and interested.
I'm just following. It's just ridiculous what's happening.
Yeah, it would be awesome for you to get the opportunity to work with it, though. I'm sure at some point you will.
There is actually some design actually done by artificial intelligence as well. So it's like, that's interesting.
This is not artificial intelligence, but I have been really surprised. I use this iPhone app called Captioned, I think, and it starts with a K. And it's to do subtitle generation. I am stunned by how accurate it is. It does it really fast. And I mean, I obviously have an accent, and it makes, I have to make very few changes. And
Wow.
usually when I do, it'll be more like maybe a word it thinks it's two different words just because of my accent, because I'll say things like a one syllable thing that sounds like two. But I mean, if it is
Wow.
that accurate for me, I can't imagine how much more accurate it would be for somebody who has no accent. And it didn't take it a learning curve. Like usually if you do if you have a voice recognition app or anything, usually it's like the more you use it, the better it gets. And that's what I would have expected in this. But I mean, from the very first time I used it, there were so few changes to make. And it saves me a ton of time because, even on like Facebook, I have to make way more changes on Facebook and YouTube if I let it auto-generate captions.
Oh, yeah.
I usually just do that and I don't even bother to go back and fix it because I'm not going to sit there and do an hour, But this, when I'll do like, a 1 to 3 minute clip, and so, and I'll have the video and then I'll open it in that app, and I mean like 30 seconds maybe. It's got it. And so, yeah, you need to try it. I'm really, and just to see if you have as few changes as me. I bet it would, though.
Well, let's see with my language.
Yeah, I know, but it's got to be international, and it might even. I've never even looked. It might not even be an American app. There's no telling where it was created, but it's captioned with a K. So
I'm going to check it out, definitely.
Yeah. And I think there's a free version and a paid version, and I think with the paid version, I might be wrong about this. I think the difference is that in the paid version, you can have a longer video, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but it's really cool. All right. I want you to tell us about the COVID project that you did with the masks.
With the mask. Yeah, that was a fun project. Well, fun in quotes, but it's the thing.
I mean, that's something that like right then and there was a problem, and all over the world, and what a lot of people would have looked at as a minor thing. If you're having to wear that mask all day, that pressure is really uncomfortable.
Exactly. So that was actually pretty much like a year ago. We went to the States. I was in the States, and then we flew back, and then it started to come with the whole COVID situation.
Yeah.
So people are starting to wear masks, and then we also, let's wear a mask on the flight. And then it started to get some pressure on the ears.
Yeah.
Behind the ears. And I never thought about it, how sensitive our ears are on the back. And then after a while, then you see a lot of people wearing masks, and then like always complaining about that situation. And it's like, okay, let's build something. So I started to design I have some here, some little hooks.
Yeah. And they're flexible, right? Really
exactly. They're flexible.
Okay.
And they are made of on 3D printed material. So
untreated. Yeah, so you don't have to worry about somebody having an allergy.
No, not at all. I mean, and it's 3D printed, so I can actually produce the ones I need, and I don't need to produce way too many.
That's cool.
Which kind of like saves the environment in a way.
Yeah, it saves the environment, and it also saves the customer a lot.
Right.
Because if you own a business and you've like a restaurant or whatever, and you've got to have people wear masks all the time, or a hospital or medical clinic, think about it. You don't want to have to like order boxes and boxes of them and maybe not need them. The other cool thing is that, so if I were to be the customer, would I print it 3D myself, or would the supplier print it? How does that work?
Well, I can send the files, but actually it's usually the ones that actually use them, they don't have a 3D printer at all.
Okay.
So, and a lot of older people have them because they're wearing glasses, and actually, if you wear glasses, the pressure is actually even bigger.
I was going to say, it makes me think of glasses.
Exactly. Or if you're having a hearing device, actually, it's even worse. So you have a hearing device, you have some glasses, and then you have the mask, and then you're pretty much screwed.
Yeah.
So then it's when I come in, and then I can just send you the final ones. So you can order online.
So they would order, most customers would order from you But if they had their own 3D printer, they could pay more and actually buy the files from you to print them.
Sure, if they want to, but at the moment there is nobody that I know that wants the files.
Yeah, they're like, whatever, I just want them. I was just thinking because there's
way easier.
Higher Education Center here has a 3D printer, and they do things like, they've done things like print off a hand, and I mean,
exactly.
which blew my mind. And I just wanted to apologize. A couple minutes ago, I thought you said it's not that the material isn't treated. You said the material is that you said it was printed 3D. So that's why I said the thing about allergies. So I'm sorry that I.
Well, it's actually good that you mentioned that about allergies, because it's a PLA. It's a material that actually I don't know if it gives allergies. I mean, not plastics; they don't give them any allergies. But what about great is about this material? It's actually kind of like recyclable. So you could just toss it into the compost.
And it's biodegradable.
Biodegradable. That's the one.
Yeah. So what is PLA? Is that like a recycled material itself?
It's made out of corn-based material.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know exactly the composition of it, but it's corn-based.
I have never.
Let's put it in your mouth, and it's not going to happen anything. So.
I don't think I've ever even seen a 3D printer. Does it have like a cartridge with kind of like? Is it kind of like liquid material in it, or how does it work?
Oh, there are so many different kinds of 3D printed materials. Some are liquid, and then you have a laser which actually just kind of like hardens the material.
Oh.
So it's just like, it's kind of like a layer. It's like a printer, like the printer you have at home.
Yeah.
But it just goes in different kind of steps. It's just like layers.
All right. So if we think about printing copy and images, it's 2 dimensions.
Right.
Basically doing that, but in 3 dimensions and in a physical thing that has mass, like where ink doesn't.
Exactly. So it's kind of like layers, building layers and layers and layers. And you can print everything. You can print plastics. You can print glass. Yeah.
You can print glass?
And there are some developments on that.
I didn't know that.
And also, it's all like, what's it called? Also, silicones, different kinds of silicones are printing, metals. I mean, I am doing also cufflinks. So that's the side project I have.
Oh, cool.
Where we sell cufflinks. It's called Jose Roberto. And so it's
called what?
It's
called what?
Jose Roberto. Jose minus Roberto.
Oh, okay. So is that the product name, or is that the website? Can people buy it online?
That's the brand, exactly. Okay. So that's the brand, and we sell. It's called JR.
Okay.
And we sell cufflinks for the men that want to be different, like entrepreneurs, because it's a skull. So that's the theme on the brand.
Okay.
So
is that on your website?
That's on my website.
Oh, okay. Because I didn't remember seeing it. Oh my God, I got to go check that out. So you can buy that online. Can we buy the code, the connector thing online?
The connectors, exactly. Those are online.
Okay. But the cufflinks aren't online, or they are for sale?
They are also for sale. Everything's for sale.
Yeah, but I mean, is there a place that like I could go tonight and buy it online, or do you have it online for e-commerce, or is it just like I need to let you know that I would want to buy some?
No, I have an online shop where you can buy them.
Okay. Well, that is so cool. So now
3D printed, so it's amazing. Like 3D printed metal, it's ridiculous.
That's so cool, Roberto, because now just like the bee house, the bee home, the connector, and the cufflinks, that right there is like 3 really cool ideas for gifts. We all give each other the same things. I'm like, oh my God, all 3 of those are really cool that I know if I were to give it to somebody, they wouldn't have it.
True. Yeah, and definitely. I mean, those 3D printed cufflinks, it's not a lot of people have them.
That's cool. Now, do they feel like metal or glass or plastic or what?
They are metal. They are like completely out of steel. So it's
oh my gosh,
steel or bronze, depending what you want.
Jeez. That is so wild. I'm jealous.
It
'Cause
is.
I want to do stuff like that now.
Yeah, we live in a great world, great place now. So
So do you
I
have
love
any
what we do.
current projects that you're working on that you can talk about, or are they more like in
Nah,
non-disclosure?
I cannot talk about it. Let's say it's a machine, part of a machine.
Yeah.
So we're building, and it's gonna come out in April, May.
Okay.
Then it's out of in the world. But at the
Yeah.
moment,
And you're doing it for your own company, or you're doing it for a client?
that's a client work.
Okay.
It's a client work and something that we're building we built in 3D, but in 3D, we're in the 3D world, like virtual reality.
Yeah.
So I was designing with some glasses on and just looking into the picture and
Oh man.
feeling it in like 1-to-1 in one scale, in scale model.
See, that's what I'm getting to play. That is so cool. So,
Yeah, it's play.
oh my gosh.
And I get paid for it, so it's great.
That is so cool. You need to do videos about those things just so people, I don't know if there's any way to do it, but videos that kind of share with people your experience of what you're seeing. I don't know if you could video it though.
There's a way.
That would be cool, wouldn't it? So that people can like be inside you. I can pretend like I'm. Wouldn't that be cool?
It is cool. It's amazing. I mean, usually you have to build a model and everything needs to be scaled down.
Yeah.
And using that technology, it's just like 1-to-1 in real scale. You can start with the design at the real scale, and then already like it's so resourceful with it. So and it's fun. You can actually just change the models very quick and then see the design just adapting it.
So that's just amazing to me. That blows my mind. And that's what attracted me all those years ago. 95 is when I first started designing websites, but that's what attracted me to websites back then, was because I could do something and upload it and see right then, and it was like, I like, because I'm impulsive and impatient, and I used to be an accountant, but it was like all of a sudden there was this thing that I could do, and I could create something really cool and see it pretty much right away. But we were talking about creativity earlier, and I used to think that I was not creative, because I looked as being creative as more like being an artist or musician. And I mean, I played in the band in high school, but I don't classify myself as a musician, and I'm not an artist. I never even took an art class. So I may could have learned, but I didn't have anything that I felt was a natural creative talent until I started my first business in 1990. And then I realized, like, oh my God, I am creative. But my creativity is through ideas.
But that's creativity.
But I think a lot of people are like me. They don't think they're creative. They don't realize they're creative because they're thinking more in the arts world. But
but I think everybody's creative. I mean, little
in their own way.
Like, exactly. So it doesn't have to be artsy and painting and all that stuff. It's even an accountant can be creative.
Yeah, some of them can be really creative, right? Creative accounting. I agree that everybody's creative in their own way, but I think most people don't know how to access it. They don't recognize it in themselves. They haven't figured out how to access it.
True. Exactly. So they need to reframe their thinking too.
Yeah, reframe. That's right. You come to Roberto and help in. Pay him
to help him reframe
yourself. Well, having said that, do you work with any clients on helping them think differently? So instead of you creating the products for them, if they just want to learn to think more creatively, regardless of what their background is, that would be something that I bet you could do. Do you ever do that?
I've never done it that way. I always try to challenge them to think different, like the clients they already have. But there would be something that I'm sure a lot of people could benefit from it.
Yeah, so you should think about that, Roberto, because you're doing the same thing with your clients.
Exactly, I'm doing the same with clients.
Yeah,
why not?
So you can think of an idea to create like an online course or something, a virtual course that even maybe people can work through themselves But then if they want to pay more, they work with you as a coach, a creative thinking coach.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, that could work.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
Reframing your mind.
That's right. Yeah. Do it.
I like that.
So when you were in America right at the beginning of COVID, you said you were here right at the beginning of the shutdown. Is that right?
We actually we left LA, I think, when was that? End of February.
Okay, yeah.
So we just kind of like skipped it, and then I
never
thought about it. Everything just fall down after that. Like,
it's crazy. So were you here on business or on vacation?
On vacations.
Okay, nice.
I was visiting my brother and with Sabrina.
Your brother that lives in California?
Yes, he lives in Venice.
Oh, okay, nice.
LA, so it's amazing stuff.
Yeah, I love Venice. And it's so funny. We took my mother when our daughter moved out there back. I mean, our daughter's 31 now. So this was back when she was 17. She moved out there to go to college. And I took my mother out, and she had never seen anything like Venice. And there was this man, I don't know if he's still alive or not, but he was a lot older, and he wore this little like leopard skin, not a Speedo, but it was kind of like that bodybuilder. So, you know, the big bodybuilding thing that's outside, and he'd be out there. My mother was like, it was so funny. We were dying laughing at her. She was
that sounds like Venice.
Like that. It was funny. Well, I was just curious about your timing with the trip. I was actually in a different state here at the same time that you were in LA. I was down in South Carolina, which is 2 states away. And I was with my cousin, and they had all this stuff on the news, and they're like, oh, we're going to have to shut down. And we're going, how the hell do you shut down a country?
Exactly.
And we're like, you can't do that. And then in a few days, we're like, oh, that's how you do that. I mean,
it's absurd.
I don't think any of us could have ever imagined it. I mean, if we had to, but I should say we would not have imagined it, because it would be like, why would you do that?
And why would you say, how would you get like all the toilet paper, and why should you get that?
I know. We were there when the run on that started. We went to the grocery store. It's like, no toilet paper, no paper towels, no
exactly.
And we're going, okay, well, whatever. We're not going to panic over toilet paper, but it was so far out. Oh, and then the hand sanitizer.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
Crazy.
I remember I was calling some friends here in Europe, in Zurich. It's like, should we bring something do you need something from the States? Should we bring you something? Yeah, hand sanitizers. Like, what?
You're like, you don't have those in Europe?
No. And we came back, and then there's nothing. There were no sanitizers.
So it was already sold out.
It was all sold out.
Man.
It's like just get some soap.
Yeah, it's like, I don't like hand sanitizer anyway, because I don't like the feel of it. It feels so dry on my skin, but also most of them have so much alcohol in it or a lot of fragrance, and it just feels like it takes my breath away. So I usually don't use it anyway. So I was really like, what the heck? Y'all people are crazy. Right. Like you said, just go wash your hands. But I guess when people are out all the time, you might not have access to water all the time.
True. But no worries. I mean, everybody has to stay home anyhow. So
I know, really, if we're at home, yeah. So why do you need the hand sanitizer?
Exactly. No, crazy times. I mean, and I don't know. It's been crazy all over the place since then.
Yeah, it's really. I often wonder, what is it going to be like even at the end of this year, much less a year from now? It feels like, are we still going to be stuck in this holding pattern?
Yeah, maybe. But I think the most important is to keep sane.
Yeah.
Meditation or just running sports.
Use your imagination to figure out different ways to do things that you miss doing. I think that's one thing that, people are lonely and whatever. So, or they feel like they can't do the things that they really liked doing. So y'all try to use your imagination. Try to be like Roberto and figure out how you could do something from a different angle. But I'm telling you, Roberto, I want you to create that course. I'll be one of the tester.
Absolutely. I like that. Absolutely. We'll do that.
Yeah. So tell
We got some other
everybody.
crazy people.
Yeah, that would be fun. Tell everybody where your website is and how they can find out more about you.
Well, you can find a lot about me on LinkedIn with my name, Roberto Inderbitzin, or on my website, reframe.ch.
Okay.
That's pretty much where you see a lot of my projects and some ideas, and I try to share more. And
so on the connector and the cufflinks, we can find a way on your website to click through, right? But not the bee homes, but you're going to go talk to your client and ask them about the bee homes, because I will. But I will think of so many people that I know that would love that. I think it's so cool, especially with bees that don't sting, because I thought it would be just regular old bumblebees.
No, but I'm going to definitely take a look with them.
Yeah. Well, Roberto, I appreciate so much you being on. I had so much fun talking with you. And I mean, I got to go back and read through more of your projects, but I can't wait to see what you're doing, what you do in the future.
And if you want, you just sign to the newsletter.
Oh, okay.
So I try to send once a month, like newsletter about REFRAME, about some innovative stuff I see, or.
All right, y'all, you got to go do that. Go to his website, reframe.ch, you said?
Right.
Okay, reframe.ch. Sign up for his newsletter so that you can learn about all this cool stuff that he's doing. And then that way you can know when the bee homes are out, right?
Right.
All right, thanks a lot. I really appreciate you being here. And thanks for reaching out to me that day on Club.
Thank you, Lisa. It was a pleasure. It was fun.
Thanks. Talk with you later.
Bye.